Hi, debunking fans. I've got another scam for you, and this one is personal. So I received on one of my email accounts an email that was sent from my email address extorting me for money. Now, there is some adult content discussed in this video, so it probably isn't going to make a difference, but if you feel like you should ask your parents if you're underage, go ahead and do that. It's not really going to be anything graphic or anything like that at all. So I will show you the video, or sorry, the image of the email. But before I do that, I want to explain a few things to you. Number one, this video is trying to warn you not to respond to messages like this. It was in my spam inbox, and although it discusses something called Pegasus, which is very special Israeli spyware that is sold by the company that makes it to nation states and probably others than just that, and it includes nation states like Russia, so they can spy on whoever they want to spy on. I am not important to Russia. Russia doesn't care about me, and criminals don't care about me either, because if they look at my YouTube channels, they'll say, oh, his channels are so small, it isn't going to make a difference. And while the chances this big that they are actually watching me right now while I make this video, I doubt it. I really, 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 really doubt it. So don't worry that this person that has sent this to you using a program that has mass emailed lots and lots of people and faked my email address, which I have blocked out, as both the sender and the recipient and the subject. That's just a simple programming trick using a database of stolen email addresses. And my email addresses have been stolen. Your email addresses have likely been stolen, unless you've been really, really super careful online. And most people, I'm going to be honest with you, it is really, really, really difficult to be safe online, especially in this day and age. Between the hackers who have huge amounts of money compared to law enforcement and lots of time to do nothing other than that, as well as AI to help them and special programs like Pegasus, it's an uphill battle. But you don't need to worry that this is a legitimate extortion letter. This is a form letter. So, without further ado, let's take a look at this form letter. That's not the one I wanted. Hold on. Okay, there we go. Now, I'm sorry if it's a little bit small on your screen, but if you're using a phone to watch this, that's your fault, not mine. I don't like using phones for stuff like this. So it says, hello, pervert. I sent this message from your Microsoft account. And I find it interesting that they are not more specific, but that's a telltale sign that this is just a spam of extortion mail to lots of people. I want to inform you about a very bad situation for you. However, you can benefit from it if you will act wisely. Have you heard of Pegasus? This is a spyware program that installs on computers and smartphones and allows hackers to monitor the activity of device owners. It provides access to your webcam, messengers, emails, call records, etc. It works well on Android, iOS, macOS, and Windows. I guess you already figured out where I'm getting at. So that is all true. Pegasus is very, very advanced and can, if it hasn't changed, it is a no-click infection. They can even make it so that you just think you received a hang-up call or something like that, because they'll erase all tracks that would show that they have infected your device. So, yeah, it's been a few months since I installed it on all your devices because you were not quite choosy about what links to click on the internet. During this period, I've learned all about all aspects of your private life, but one is of special significance to me. Now, if this person has been looking at all aspects of my personal life, they would know that I'm unemployed and not wealthy. So I'm not exactly a prime target for extortion. And I'm an honest person. I've recorded many videos of you, and here's the part where it gets kind of a graphical, but not really, of you jerking off to highly controversial porn videos. Given that the questionable genre is almost always the same, I can conclude that you have sick perversion. I have to admit, this person has very good English, but they make mistakes. I do too. Now, I'm going to say right now that what I look at as far as porn is concerned is because I am celibate and chaste, and there's nothing controversial about the genre that I choose to look at. It's very much mainstream. So let's see. I think it's kind of telling, however, because what this person is doing by making vague statements, it's like reading an astrology thing in the newspaper. These astrology statements are very vague, and you could look at somebody else's astrology reading for a different sign, and you might find that it's relevant to you for that particular day. They have no value whatsoever. They're just for entertainment, even for people who think that they're real. So these mass mailings are designed the same way. They're specific enough that it makes you nervous, and vague enough that it makes you nervous. Unless you know that the statements that are being made are false, like I do. So this is all false. I doubt you'd want your friends, family, and coworkers to know about it. However, I can do it in a few clicks. I don't doubt that if it were true. Every number in your contact list will suddenly receive these videos on WhatsApp, on Telegram, on Instagram, on Facebook, on email, everywhere. It is going to be a tsunami that will sweep away everything in its path, and first of all, your former life. Well, considering that some of the things that this person has listed, I don't use, and I'm not going to say which, and second of all, when it is revealed that I have watched this kind of porn, people are going to be like, oh, how boring. So no, it's not going to do anything to my life, nor is it going to do anything to yours, because there is no video. There are no videos. There is no list that's going to have a deluge of videos sent to them. Don't think of yourself as an innocent victim. No one knows where your perversion might lead in the future. So consider this a kind of deserved punishment to stop you. I'm some kind of God who sees everything. However, don't panic, as we know God is merciful and forgiving. So, and so do I. But my mercy is not free. Okay. Picking on people's superstitions is a really low blow. Transfer $1350 to my Litecoin LTC wallet. And then it's got an LTC wallet address. Once I receive confirmation of the transaction, I will permanently delete all videos compromising you, uninstall Pegasus from all of your devices, and disappear from your life. You can be sure my benefit is only money. Otherwise, I wouldn't be writing to you, but destroy your life without a word in a second. I'll be notified when you open my email, and from that moment, you have exactly 48 hours to send the money. If cryptocurrencies are uncharted waters for you, don't worry. It's very simple. Just Google crypto exchange or buy Litecoin, and then it will be no harder than buying some useless stuff on Amazon. There's a lot of useless stuff on Amazon. I strongly warn you against the following. Do not reply to this email. I've sent it from your Microsoft account. Actually, you can't reply to it when it's in junk mail. So when you look at it and you're like, oh, I can't reply to it anyways. When you move it out of junk mail, you can reply to it. But if you look at the top, up here below where I've got the flag thing, there's that red bar. We can't verify that this email came from the sender, so it might not be safe to respond to it. That indicates that it didn't really come from your own email address. It was spoofed, which is to say there is a flaw in the email system that allows somebody to put in a different email address than the actual source of the email address. It doesn't fool every security system that's out there, but it will look like it came from you. And Microsoft services have indicated that it's not really from the person it seems to be from, you, and therefore it's not legitimate. Now, let's see what else. Oh, yes. So you can reply to the email and see if it goes to you or see if it goes to somebody else. That'd be interesting. But I wouldn't suggest it, because you don't want to get into unless you're going to scam bait the person, you don't want to get into a pissing contest with a hacker. Do not contact the police. I have access to all your devices, and as soon as I find out you ran to the cops, videos will be published. Okay. Sorry, hacker, I went to the FBI instead. Don't try to reset or destroy your devices. As I mentioned above, I'm monitoring all your activities, so you either agree to my terms or the videos are published. Okay, have fun publishing the videos. I don't care. Also, don't forget that cryptocurrencies are anonymous, so it's impossible to identify me using the provided address. That is actually not entirely true. You see, cryptocurrencies are not anonymous. You just have to know how to do the digging to find the information you need to expose the person. So if that hacker really has done this to me, there are ways. Now, good luck, my perverted friend. I hope this is the last time we hear from each other. We hear from each other. You haven't heard from me. If you would, I'd give you a mouthful, earful. And some friendly advice. From now on, don't be so careless about your online security. Online security these days is really hard. I mean, every few days I get fake job invitations on LinkedIn of all places. So, yeah. Now, so that is the email that I received. And what did I do about that? Well, I read it over carefully. I tried to click on report, because you can report messages that try to extort you or get you involved in a money laundering operation. But this one, for whatever reason, even when I moved it into my inbox, will not let me report it. So the hacker did something, and I don't know if it's because they spoofed my email address, but they did something to prevent it from being marked as phishing, because that's what it is. It's a phishing email. The person is trying to socially engineer me through threats to extort me to give them lots of money. Well, I don't have lots of money to give. I'm not going to give it. I'm not in trouble. They are. Because now the FBI has the information. How did I do that? Well, when you go into the email, if you search down just several lines, you'll find their IP address, unless they were very, very careful. You may find more than one. You may find it in two different formats. I found two. Well, I found more than two, but one basically was a Microsoft IP address, and that was irrelevant. But I found another one, and guess what country it was from? Russia. Yes. So what I did is I chose a website, and I'll show you that in just a second here, to look up the IP address, and that's how I found out it was from Russia. Now, there's a bunch of information. I can't really say if the name of the person listed for that address is the person that actually has that address, or if that address was spoofed as well. There's no way to know. But the FBI have that IP address. So hopefully this person's going to get a nasty wake-up call somehow or other, even though Russia will not extradite these criminals to the United States. So you can now see, I use this particular service. There are lots of services like this, and it came up with this information. IP owner is Quarta LLC. I didn't bother to look up who that is. You can if you want to. And it shows that it's in Moscow, and it gives the actual street address. It gives a bunch of other information, like the owner website is advice.fridaywin.com. And so on and so forth. It's a long, long, boring list of information, most of which I'm not bothering to have any interest in. The only thing that was mildly interesting to me was this name, Sergey Dugin. But I don't know if that is the hacker or if that is somebody else. It could be the administrator for this company. But now you know. So what I did is this. I went to ic3.gov. I went to ic3.gov. And that is the Internet Crime Complaint Center run by the FBI. So Kash Patel's team is going to get the message I sent. So what you want to do is you want to file a complaint and then accept the terms and conditions. And they've actually upgraded this. It's now more user-friendly than it used to be. It used to be really primitive, and now it actually is decent looking. It's about 6 steps that you have to fill out, starting out with this stuff. I'm not going to go through it, but you fill it all out. At the very end, it will show you the advice that they give. So the advice includes calling your local law enforcement agency, which you should do, but it may not help. Because the last time I called my police department about an online scam like this, they were like, oh, okay, thanks for the info. They didn't do anything. So fill out all 6 of the forms, then sign the 7th page. And if you don't know something, if you don't understand how to do an IP lookup or anything like that, that's fine. Just fill in the information you know. I didn't put in Mr. Dugan's name because I don't know if that's the real person. I left, in fact, almost, there's a lot of missing information. And also, you'll want to keep a copy of the email that you received. So what you'll want to do is you'll want to go into your email address. I'm not going to show you this in my email, but you'll want to go to your email address and in that, choose the email that you received from the scammer, which if you actually saw it, I would be surprised because mine went right to spam. But you'll want to use the options menu, and you should see one that's something like download or something like that. And you'll want to download it as .eml. Then, if the FBI is interested and gets in contact with them, you can send them the email. Because the problem is, although they give you a field where they want technical data, like the header of the email, the length of the field is only 5,000 characters, and an email header is more than 5,000 characters, so you can't get it in there. Now, I want to make this very, very clear. Whether you contact the FBI, the CIA, the police, or whatever agency it is, the one thing you should not do is send money, because this is BS. There is no legitimate threat. They're just fishing for people who don't understand and trying to rip them off. And the chances are that once they get your money, they might try to do it again. Because they'll be like, oh, I got your money, thank you very much. And by the way, I changed my mind, I'm a fickle god, and you're going to have to pay some more money. Never trust anybody who blackmails you. And that is the whole story. Thank you so much for watching. I hope it has helped. Have a great day.